Good morning, everyone. Today we will be discussing about the description of a process. Without further ado, let's now begin. What is description of a process? Let us read. It is a technical writing technique that makes you give a written account or explanations of events orderly occurring one after another over time. It chronologically presents related events or actions based on the time of order of their occurrence. When we say process, there is always order and sequence involved. Through process, a sequence of events can be chronologically presented based on their time of their occurrence. This can be furtherly explained through an example. In constructing a building, the process involved are create a design of the unit first, build the structure based on the design, and subject the constructed building to a thorough evaluation or test. In this example, a process is really observable. So, through using a process, a certain events or things can be chronologically ordered and sequenced. Now let us proceed to the different types of process. The first type of process is about how it operates or how it works process. This process focuses on the way a thing should functions or operates. Central to this is not the one who operates the machine, but on how the machine works. In short, this type of process description is not focused on the person who will operate, but on how a certain things work. The next type process is how to do it process. In this type of process, an emphasis is on the way someone perform an action rather than the process itself. This type of process is observable in giving instruction or directions. Examples for this are manuals for the correct utilization of a device, such as manuals of refrigerator, CP, and many more. The third type of process is how it happens process. While the other types of process that we discussed a while ago gives importance to the user and the operation of the machines, how it happens process gives significance to the process itself. That is the reason why some call this process analysis. The last type of description process is how it is organized. The three types of process description occurs more frequently than this fourth one. This type of process happens when you write or talk the way a club or organization assigned each of its members to a certain rank in the company. In other words, this type of description is focused on how the constituents of the group assumed a certain arrangement in the organization. Now let's move on to the different parts of a process description. Similarly to other types of writings, a process description has also its introduction, body, and conclusion. The first part of a process description is the introduction. Similar to process description of mechanism of an object, a description of a process happens in a step-by-step order. First, it begins with introductory paragraph that gives formal or one-sentence logical definition of a process. An introduction should define the overall process in a single sentence and describe the document, the scope, and the purpose of writings. So, an introduction should be concise. It should be concise and supplies a good sentence definition. Next, after the introduction, is the body of the paper that describes each major stage of the process. In this second part of the paper, each process stage gives its purpose as well as some factors, conditions, or circumstances affecting it. A detailed breakdown of the major stage into sub-stages follows. Conclusion is the last part of the description of a process. Without being excessively redundant, review the major steps in the process, walk the reader through one complete cycle, emphasizing how the completion of each stage contributes to the final overall effect. So that is the conclusion of a process. Now let's move on the appropriate mood of verbs for each process type. Let's start in how to do it process. How to do it process utilizes active voice and imperative mood. How to do it process uses active voice because its emphasis is on the doer of the action and also uses the imperative mood of the verb. If we read the whole content of the example, we will notice that it is an imperative mood of verb because it is commanding and instructing the doer of the action. It also uses active voice because it gives emphasis on the one who will do the action or perform the action. Similarly to how it operates process, how it happens also uses passive voice and indicative mode of the verb. Making pump. The same in the example I showed a while ago. This is in line with passive voice because it is not mainly focused on the doer but purely on the actions. Similarly to how it operates process, how it happens also uses passive and indicative mood. For example, in food digestion. To sum up the whole topic, a description of a process is a technical writing technique that gives explanation of events orderly and chronologically. The types of process are how to do it, how it operates, how it happens, and how it is organized process. Each part are introduction, body, and conclusion. How to do it process utilizes active voice and imperative mood of the verb. How it operates process uses passive voice and indicative mood of the verb. Similarly to how it happens process, it also utilizes passive and indicative mode of the verb. That would be all. Thank you for listening.